Hello and welcome to The Hero Spouse. I'm Kendra Ruth, here to answer one of your questions about marriage and midlife crisis. Today we have Michelle. Michelle has a bomb drop of February 5th, 2022 and a date of marriage of 2014. She has a clinging boomerang who is a low energy wallower. She says, bomb drop was in February of 2022 and he left home and then returned after a week. And then he left again. Doesn't say how much of a gap after that. And then he hasn't returned since. He gave the I love you, but I'm not in love with you speech in May of 2022. There was an alienator at bomb drop, but now they only see each other occasionally as friends. I'm assuming that's him saying that, but it wasn't written as that. We have daily text contact, and we meet up every 2 to 3 weeks for dinner. 17 months in, I thought I was detached until he told me he was going to a concert with the alienator as friends. He will never commit to anything but dinner with me. This floored me, and now I feel like I haven't detached at all. I go about my life, new hobbies, friends, but I miss him so much. I feel like I should go no contact, but I don't want to not hear from him. His messages are a comfort to me. He doesn't monster. And we have fun, but he never talks about the situation we're in. I'm standing, and I believe in this midlife crisis stuff, but I thought I was further in my own healing. We have an age gap. He's 9 years younger, and he wants a child of his own. I'm too old. How do I cope with him still being in contact with the alienator? It cuts like a knife through my heart to heal. It cuts like a knife through my trying to heal heart. Okay. So let's talk about a few things. First, I didn't do this when you said seeing each other occasionally as friends when I read it, but is it like that? Is he telling you we're just friends? And if so, why are you believing him? And maybe they are, but this was a person that you called her an alienator, an OW. And said, but now they're only seeing each other occasionally as friends. But before, they were seeing each other as something more than friends. So given that you're not even a year and a half outside of bomb drop, there's not a lot of credibility in him saying we're just friends. So that could be it. Why did he even tell you he's going to a concert with her? That was very nice of him, actually. And then he said it's just as friends. Well, what's the point, honestly? But I think that it was very nice that he told you. And let's for a moment say, okay, let's say they're just friends and that they're able to maintain that. That was really nice that he told you. I know that it hurts, but it was really nice that he told you. He's in a midlife crisis. And sorry for this part, it's still early. A year and a half in, still the early days. You're still in the it gets better before it gets worse type of days. And so I wouldn't expect you to be as healed and detached as I think you're expecting yourself. It's awesome. Some people are. And it is amazing and awesome when you are. And so you're doing really well with it, but there are going to be things that pull you back and trigger you. And you found some. And it's normal. It's normal. So how do you cope with dealing with him still being in contact with her? Well, you've lost the right of wife. I think it is amazing that you have dinner with and you said he never commits, but he has dinner with you once a week. Great. You're in contact. You're cordial with each other. You get along. That is a good thing. If you can keep it up, I would recommend that you keep it up. You're rebuilding something with that, even if he's not aware of what you're rebuilding, or even if what ends up being rebuilt is co-parenting and cordiality and even friendship. But the thing is, getting to those places is how you get to the next step of reconciliation someday as well. So you have to kind of go through that. He trusts you. So how do you cope with him still being in contact with her? If he were reconnecting in a way to come home, you would need to have a deeper conversation about that and say, you know what? I know that you've said that you're just friends with her. And that can be the case. But that's the woman that you used to betray me with. And if we're going to be together, I can't handle you seeing her. It's not that you can't have female friends. And maybe it is. But maybe, but it's that woman. It's that particular one. And I'm not saying anything is going on. I'm saying that woman, that one is the trigger for me. It's a disrespect to me as well, that you'd continue to have a relationship, any kind, with the woman with whom you betrayed me. It's not that he's just working with her, but he is going out with her. And that is suspicious. Let's just face it, it's suspicious. But you've lost the right of wife now. So that's not a conversation to have right now. The right of wife means that you don't get to say, hey, where were you last night? You should have been home. Or, you look really sick. Do you want me to make you a doctor appointment? Or sometimes spouses go with spouses to the doctor appointment, even if one makes their own appointments. But you go with each other sometimes. Chuck has recently asked me to go because he has been taking notes on his mysterious condition, and he thought I would be better able to explain. And I felt, yes, he hadn't asked me before that, but he asked me to come, and I thought that was great because I was able to explain more to the doctor. Or explain more how sometimes, he thinks he's better every time he has a good hour, and he'll stop medication, and the doctor doesn't get aware of those things. That's the right of wife or the right of spouse. And you don't have that now. So that means you don't get to have you can't, be seeing this woman right now. Because, and I think you know that, but someday that might happen. But I would not expect him to be turning back toward you in a way where it's more solid right now. Clinging boomerang, great. But not all clinging boomerangs need the same level of reassurance. Not all clinging boomerangs are saying, I want to come home right now. And if they say it, you can set the boundary. And at this level, they would leave again. But you could say it. Say, well, yeah, you're going to come home? Well, you have to do these things. And then they might say, okay, and then fail at it. Or they're just like, oh, no, I can't do that. They're not ready. He might not be doing any of that. You're wondering if you should go no contact because you need to heal more. It's something you can do, but I think if you want to, you can go just darker. I don't think you need a no contact boundary. I use that boundary for a few specific things. Number one, I use it, usually it's in the beginning, but it could be at any point, when you need to heal and you are not healing when you have contact with them. But usually it is because that contact is toxic. They are sending so many mixed messages. And they might not be trying to be toxic. Some of them are monitoring, but sometimes it's just the mixed messages that it's causing you to spin and cycle. It's causing you to have more anxiety and chaos inside. And you need to get that separation. So on that, I have a no contact boundary that is a limited time. No contact. And I say start with 3 weeks to 6 weeks. But you don't tell them that. You make a decision on anywhere from those three. Say you can't, I don't want you to contact me for 3 weeks. After 3 weeks, you can contact me and see if I'm okay, and you can have contact again. There's that. You say that you thought you were more detached, but I don't get the sense that you're spinning out of control. I get the sense that something triggered you. And and now you're like, okay, I gotta heal more. You're letting it cascade you into more anxiety. But I don't get the sense that it's been toxic. The other kind of no contact is later on. I did mine at, is it 3.5 years? 3. I start around 3 to 3.5 year mark. And yeah, you can do it earlier. But it is more of a punishment. It feels like that because they're not being an appropriate spouse. So I finally told my husband that when you're with her, and every time he moved out of our house, he moved into hers. So if you're with her, you're not allowed to have contact with me because you're not being an appropriate, respectful spouse. When you choose to be appropriate, you can call me. And so I call it the exit clause. There's always an exit, and the exit is communicated. He always knew how to be able to contact me. Not for emergencies, but I mean how to get the boundary gone. Dumper. Get out of her life and not have communication with her or any of the people that were involved in that, in his affair. I don't see you're there either. First thing, there may or may not be an alienating OW. But second, there's not enough time in this either. I know that this feels like the doldrums of the dog days of nothing changing sometimes, but I would really like it if you would continue, if you're capable. Continue with what you're doing. Continue with meeting up for dinner. Continue with rebuilding a friendship without talking about the us part of it. If he wants to talk about the us part, you can go there. If you suddenly feel the need for something, talking about it, see if you can steer the conversation so that he thinks, it feels like he brings something up, or it comes organically, not like you just pop out of the blue and start talking about it. But right now, I know it's hard. So how do you cope with him still being in contact with her? Are you seeing a counselor? See if you are. What other kind of activities are you doing for your own personal therapy? What kind of mindfulness are you doing? My big go-to is hypnotherapy. And here's the thing. I don't want you to be okay with him seeing her. I like how you said it. How do you cope? That's not being okay. That's accepting something, even though it's not acceptable. It's accepting what is beyond your control. Accepting the process of a midlife crisis. And so some of it is to know that this is normal. And it's not your fault. You didn't cause it. And he's not choosing her over you. When someone is in crisis, they often choose someone who is lower on a maturational, vibrational level than we are. They choose somebody who is more damaged, or at least they are, their damages are surfaced, just like the MLCers' damages are surfaced right now, causing their crisis. And so oftentimes this person is more chaotic. They are going to create more conflict within their relationship. And we don't really realize it, but oftentimes it's like we don't need to worry about the MLCer and the affair partner because it's doomed. No guarantees. But typically it is a doomed relationship, and if it's not doomed, then they have a horrible relationship going forward that's just high conflict. And you probably had a better relationship and a better marriage than they will ever have. No guarantees. But that doesn't help you right now. What I want you to just know is that if he had something better before, show him that that can be again by simply being there and being grace, being kindness right now. Boundaries as you need them. So every 2 to 3 weeks you can meet for dinner as long as you can handle it. And I want you to work on some like hypnotherapy or guided meditations for letting go and detachment. Because that's how you're going to get there. Okay? And you realize you're going to be triggered by things. Things that are about the alienator might be some of our biggest triggers. So I want you to accept those are your triggers and see what you can do to mitigate it through your detachment. She's nothing. She's not important. I'm the real wife. And typically they are affair downs. And maybe they are just friends. But if you keep going on that, I don't want you to get into an analysis paralysis of the not knowing. Okay? It's the detachment that I really want you to focus on. And in addition, you're more detached than you're giving yourself credit for. Okay? So I hope this is helpful. And I will see everybody in the next question.